stuff that I have this website. Okay, you can see that that's the thing in the top. I got this chat. Yes. That's cool. So I have this website. This big website. It's called theshortcut.recipes. So just break it. Jeez. So this is a RESTful website, kind of like how you're familiar, what's cool is that it's all based around Git. So I have this G slash cookbook. This goes, click on this, click on the start button. This actually opens up a Git repository. So I've got all of my recipes that I've written, I've done, You can pull up any of these. Let me just pull up garlic croutons. This is a nice one. I like to make croutons for my salad. It's not hard to do. And here are all the steps. I've written it in YAML. Okay, so it all goes there. And then I have this recipes JSON file. This is basically going to go ahead and do this linking. So I put all my recipes in this recipes map, and then I get to do these collections, right? So I get to say, oh, here are my, my salad recipes are down here. I put here's the key label, so that when I load this page up, I'm actually able to go ahead and look at it in this very user-friendly way. Click on this. It's actually going to pull this in from Git and show me this thing. It's very nice. Look, it's clean. It's centered. A lot of good use of negative space. Here are the directions. That's it. There's no personal story. There's no ads. It works great on mobile devices. I can pull up. I have the toggle device toolbar. Look at that. It's just a little wonky. I have a slightly bigger phone. Very easy to read. And it's also even better than that. Because it's machine readable, it's in these YAML files, I can actually scale up the recipes. You see, every time I update that, it actually updates all of the ingredients that I need. It has this nice readable format. So, it's not saying 3.653 tablespoons. That doesn't make sense to a person. It just rounds to 3.5. Very clean. You click on that, opens up the dialog box, and now it says, okay, well, how much is that? It's an eighth of a pint of salt, roughly, which is very helpful. Maybe a quarter of a cup of salt. So I don't need to, get 7 teaspoons of cilantro. I don't need to fish out the teaspoons all the time. I just need to do, it's a sixth of a cup. That's a lot. You just do one thing. It's great. It makes 7 of them. So that's great. I have the website. It's all here. It's not running on the server for some reason. Something weird's happening. But also, I don't know. I can't upload this code to. See, I have this stuff. Actually, it's probably because of this, right? I have this set up already. Where it's supposed to be able to push my code up to the cloud. And I've already built out this nice workflow. I don't quite get why it's a suddenly decided to break. I'm guessing I screwed something up. So I don't know. I did. Website, you can go to the docs page, load that up. We have this stuff. We have these cookbook validators. Click on that. Goes to the browser console actually. Okay. That's going to fail if we do that. That passes if we, it shouldn't though. So recipes is going to be an object, and that's successful. If I do key value, it's going to validate. Okay, cool. Let me do the same thing here with our recipes. Anyway, so we have these JSON schema files, right? And they're We're going to go here. We're going to go do our sample sections optional. Cannot get I typed out wrong. Sample sections optional. I forgot to save. Yeah, you gotta save your files. You gotta save them. Alright. So there we go. You can see kind of messed up. You see it says cannot read properties of undefined for each. Shoot. That's a good point. Okay, so I appreciate Dennis for pointing that out. I think I have the microphone working now. When in the browser, it's all good. Yeah, because I have two different things. So when it's in the audio capture, I'm getting the hang of this stuff slowly. You know, but it looks like I got the levels working. So that's a bit unfortunate. I didn't hear anything I said. So I have this recipe system, and so that's if data steps exist. If I have data sections, I want to. I guess right now I just want to print out all of the section names. If I can get that to work, then I'll be happy about that. Item.name. Okay. If I did this correctly, you should be seeing when the server rebuilds.
Yes, okay, looks like okay, building section 1, section 2. Exactly right. Okay. Happen. So looking work lists. Looking at those. It's still not loading in what ingredients are needed. section for everything. So, add steps, I can't really add steps anymore. Basically, I need one unified array of every step in my array into the control. That's how it works. So sometimes I need one unified array of every step in my recipe. So if link is broken or something, link is broken or something. Using the headset.
Switch to using my webcam microphone. I think the audio quality is going to be a little worse.
This one here is using
Microphone. Okay, so now I'm both using the webcam as the audio, which should be more reliable, I guess, than the Bluetooth headset. At that point, why am I even wearing a Bluetooth headset? I guess because it looks cool. It's fashionable, we'll say. So, I want to get every single step in my recipe. If I have sections, then I'm going to do some sort of I need to merge it in. So data.sections for each section. Steps.push section dot steps. And then I can go and it's going to iterate through everything to get the prep time, cook time, all the ingredients and equipment, and store them all in the top of the recipe page. And that's really how that calculates all the different stuff. Save that for a second. Just to make sure that this is actually going to work, I'm going to add in prep time. And I'll add in cook time. So that's, we can verify that it's going to calculate everything correctly. So we have that. So what I probably should do is create a separate custom element that represents every step as an independent component. So let me go ahead and do that. How do I, where do I put this? Front end. I'm going to call this a recipe step.js. And this is a polymer element, so I just do that here. I don't need that. I don't need really any of this, I suppose. I'm going to keep that callback. Maybe don't need any of this either. Okay. Maybe I'll keep it as an array of stuff. this template. And then I just pass in my array. Recipe step. All right, good night, Dennis. I guess it's pretty late for you, but I should be around on Wednesday. Maybe. No, I think I have a meeting at that time. So recipe step, and then we put steps equals data.steps. So we have steps. This is an array. So it should iterate through. Print out that, and then I can just take the same thing and stick it down there. Have a good night. Recipe steps, maybe. I'm really particular about plural. Steps. So if I did this correctly, it should just print out all my steps in one thing, and I can reuse that. Just want to see. If I did this correctly, it should print out all of my steps in each section. It should also fix the cooking time, and ingredients, and all of that. Nope, I couldn't the nullish coalescing operator. I was really hoping I could use that, because that's a really nifty new JavaScript thing, but I can't. Let's use a standard thing there. That's yeah. A couple of years ago, Polymer was this cool thing, and I enjoyed using it, and it's kind of just froze in place. And I know, I guess they've migrated to Lit, or you can use Angular, but all those fun JavaScript features have gone away. Let's get back to my website. It failed. Why did it fail? Okay, so let me put a breakpoint there. Oh, it just didn't. Well, I guess I could. It fails at that point, so I can't run a breakpoint there. Breakpoint didn't execute. It just didn't. Okay, so none of my breakpoints are actually running. So I'm not happy about that. Back to my left window. This don't really want to go through that, but Oh, wait a second, that was a stupid move. I gotta return this. Rebuild. Do the thing. Alright. Refresh. Okay, there we go. So prep time now works. Cook time now works. You get all the ingredients. So the tablespoons, maybe that's, I can't use that. Tablespoons, teaspoons. Something up with that. Now I'm not getting the steps rendered out. Undefined tablespoons. So that's probably something I'm going to fix really quickly. So in order to do the unit stuff, I've got this unit utils, which actually shows all the different types of supported inputs. Add teaspoons, add tablespoons. Alright. Go back to this. Let me right click here. Section 1. What's happening here? Recipe steps. So if this is going to work like that, in theory I should be able to query steps, and it doesn't query. I think I do reflect to attribute true. This will let me input the stuff directly. Yeah, because then that's what happens with the stars. You build the server, it should also fix that. Right there. Okay, so this is running now. Oh, now my now my breakpoints are going to activate. Okay. So tablespoons, and we see it's 9 teaspoons, 1/8 of a pint, whatever. So these are still not here, not doing what I want them to do. Cannot read properties of undefined recipe. So this is another thing I need to fix. When I want to populate this recipe content in the standard recipe XML format, let me just make this actually get all steps. And I can do the same thing down here. And I'll fix that. Save this file. A lot of indents going on. That should make a difference. Can I do console log this step? Now the other question is if Polymer will even let me input an array. As a thing. Oh, another thing I got is that this should actually be item steps. Because data steps does not exist, which is why it's undefined. So hopefully the console logging will actually do something. Back here, we refresh the page. Okay, so that line is exactly what I want it to do. We can actually just delete it. That's fine as well. Unit. I don't know why we need that. Line. So we have this recipe step file. I'm going to print out that thing. The alternative is that I cannot do that, and I have to pass them in individually, which is not terrible. If I'm even able to pass in objects to Polymer. So I don't remember if I can. But do well, let me see what happens if I print it out. I don't need that template anymore because I can guarantee that there are steps. And it's just not doing anything. Which makes me think I'm screwing something up again. I think I need to import. I'm not importing it, which is why it's just falling completely off. And rebuild the server. Alright. There we go. The whole thing is crashing. Recipe is not defined. Oh. Stupid error. Recipe step, that's why it's called up there. Yeah, I kind of unhappy with Polymer. That's fine. Hoping I can get this stuff done in the next couple minutes. I'm kind of hungry. I've got this noodle place opened up recently. I want to try. I can only eat if my work is done. There we go. Here we go. Do task 1, do task 2. So I can pass in objects to Polymer, which is very in arrays, which is nice. Tablespoons and teaspoons. Now that's great. I need to do one more thing I promised I would do, which is make things optional. So let me add one more step to my code. Maybe do a third task. It says add equipment this time. And we'll say item is a crock pot. We need a bread maker, whatever that is going to be. And we can say it's optional is true. Now, how do we handle an optional thing? But I probably should actually place the order beforehand before I end up the. But it's too late now. I'm already committed. So let's do a template. Let's do a DOM if item dot optional. We're going to add in this class. We're going to call it optional. And let's just see if that works. You know, let's take a look. It should. Everything is saved. While it's building, I'm actually going to jump around to this noodle place. I got my books open on my other side. It looks really good. You can't really see. So this looks like really good food. I don't know why. I just want some noodles. It's too late though. The system built, so we're going to go ahead. Refresh this page. Loading recipe. Okay, great. So we have the optional here. You can see it's optional. Added in. But now let's go ahead. Let's make this a little more special. You know, let's throw this up to the side. Wow, what is going on there? So what kind of style can I give it? Make it font weight 100. Doesn't seem to do anything. Font size. Make it small. I guess that's probably all I need, right? Just a little bit to differentiate it. If I come back to here, I can look at do a span optional. Font style is italic, and font size is small. Now, that's all fun and games, but let's go make sure that we have our thing. So this is our recipe validator. Well, I didn't want the text. So if I try to validate YAML, it fails. It says keyword should have included steps. So that means that our thing didn't actually do what we wanted it to. Our schemas didn't update. I don't remember this code base well enough to know what is going on. I did some really funky things with copying files around. Public and front end. I have it in the. Okay, so that's not particularly use pages docs. Oh, I see. I'm fetching it directly from the GitHub, which is why it's not up to date. Okay, so that will work. It will definitely work at some point. I guess that's kind of compromise. Okay, so my optional stuff works, and the validator will work. So that's great. Very good. So now I can go ahead. I can keep forgetting to switch windows. But wrapping up now. I got two things done that I wanted to do. Clean up code and improve data match. That's one commit. Okay, break out recipes into different sections with optional steps. Okay, so that's, you can take a look at how it looks in this example project. It's pretty clean. You have some optional stuff. That should be stylized. We have this nice stuff here. We can scale up and down very easily. Great. Back here, commit this code, and we push to GitHub. Now at the start of the hour, I had this issue with the workflow I built. Should do a bunch of things, right? If I go to dish out recipes though, and I can actually go to the website, it crashes. It says here, it did everything correctly. So, console.lab. So maybe I'm screwing something up because it App Engine. No, I want logs. Cannot find module key JSON. That's why it's failing. I have multiple things here. I've got this post build. Does that not copy over? Oh, wait a second. It's not copying over this key JSON file. Do I not have a key.json file? There it is. But why is it not happy? Do I have a key.json file? I do not have a key there, so that's why it's failing. Because it's trying to look for some file that does not exist, that cannot exist. It's my secret. My secret. So it's not. Doesn't exist. So that's a problem, to say the least. So can't actually run that command. Now, do I need key JSON? Maybe I don't. Maybe I can get away without doing that. Okay, so that's my service account. So I shouldn't need should be able to rely on the default credentials. Which is not going to help me otherwise. Okay, but let's just switch to ABC for search. I need this thing to actually get deployed, and when it gets deployed, not completely, fail. which might I'll figure out some way of managing different local environments and stuff. So now we're going to go here and just watch this get built out. In the meantime, I'm going to order some noodles. Pick up. Ooh. What do they have? They got some noodles and noodles and noodles. Miso ramen. You got nori, you got some bean sprout, corn, cashew, scallion, egg, sesame. Pick up, yes, drinks. I've got drinks. I still don't know why I have these headphones on if they're not actually going to work. But, I go deploying. My noodle servings are in 15-25 minutes. It's probably going to take a little bit of time to actually walk over there. It's on what? Right next to in place. Alright, well that's probably unimportant. Still deploying. Feeling hopeful. It's bright. Yeah. Okay, I think it's good. That's the wrong one. The most fun and interesting part of any software is the debugging process. So, let's run this again. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I just had to reload the version. Alright. Let me take a look at my cookbook. Here, it's all based on Git. So awesome. And actually, let me go back here. Issues. I go ahead, close this one, take that one, mark as closed. Okay, so there's a couple of things left. I want to do a dark mode, just because I really been getting into the dark themes. We want to add a favorite section. If you load this thing from the start, see it's also not secure for some reason, and I don't have a good sense of why. Oh. Okay. So this should be a PWA. I'd like it to be. So I actually just make a PWA. And that way I can just stick it on my bottom, just like I've done with maps. Add in a dark theme. I'm going to add favorites. Okay, so when you load it up, you can see this little, you can see a card below and say these are the top things that I want. Maybe above, maybe above. And that way I can just quickly jump into my, upload the app, jump into my cookbook. Make do that local storage just to make my life a tad easier than trying to add in a whole auth system. And maybe some additional tooling. Can I use a GUI? Can I use actually? So one project that I did not work on at work, what my coworker did, is this VS Code extension, which is very neat. And it's very easy to set up because it just takes advantage of I'll have to see how this works exactly. Precisely, but it takes advantage of this library that exists for VS Code, Red Hat VS Code YAML, and you just take in these JSON schema files, which I already have, and that will make my life just a slightly easier when it comes to updating the recipes. Or maybe, do I want to do, I'll do it in VS Code because it is all Git based. I need to pick up these noodles soon, but I'm gonna add a link here. So, 4 things left to do, but maybe soon, in a couple days from now, I'll work on the rest of these things, get this out of the way, and then we can actually start to really focus on some other interesting projects. So, have a good